Welcome, folks. Welcome, folks. Welcome to a brand new episode of Discussions with Jay. I'm your host, Jay. I got a very special guest in the building today. A friend, a brother, somewhat of a colleague in the same sense. I want everybody to give it up for the man, comedian T-Rel. What's up with you, baby? How you doing?
What's going on, man?
How you been? How you been? It's been a minute, man. We've been trying to get you on the show.
Time was not on my side, but I'm glad to be here because I'm thankful that my brother hit me up and told me, man, hey T, we need you on the show. Say no more. I'm coming.
There it is. There it is. Right there. Right there. So let's hop right into it. For people that might not even know a little bit about who the comedian T-Rel really is, you grew up in Chicago. Is that correct?
Yep, from the west side of Chicago, man. Grew up in Cabrini Green projects.
Okay. So what was that like?
Man, uh, rough, hard, poor, violent, uh, a lot, man. It was growing up in Cabrini, man. You had to have thick skin to live there, man, because uh, it was poverty at its worst. We lived on the sixth floor. If I can remember, I think we lived on the sixth floor, and you had people, you had candy houses. You had people selling candy. Um, then you had people selling food. You had the nacho lady on the 10th floor. You had uh, 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 you had the weed man on the 7th floor. and the projects was a one-stop shop. They sold clothes on 4. We didn't sell nothing, man. We didn't have no money, so it was hard times, man. I remember getting cereal and we had roaches in our cereal box, man.
Wow.
You
Wow.
know, it was really bad, man. But my family, my mom and my grandmother made a way, man. We used to get the government cheese and we'll eat grilled cheese sandwiches for 2 weeks straight until,
That big
you
old
know,
block of cheese that you can't melt for nothing.
yes, but that's the best cheese you'll ever, man. Shoot, you talking about? Imagine in my mind, I always imagine it being steak and cheese sandwiches, but it was just cheese, no meat, just cheese. But it was good. So people sleeping on, man. I wish a motherfucker would tell me, man, that cheese was nasty. Now, nigga, because in your mind you had meat and cheese. They go together. Shit, this shit. My stomach was full. Shit, we didn't have Kool-Aid. We had Tang.
Oh, okay. That
You
that
remember? You
that
remember
one
Tang?
that hits you right here. Yeah,
Yeah,
hits you right there.
Tang hit you right
Yeah.
there. Shoot, I used to eat. When I wanted a sugar rush, I used to get a spoon and eat it out the little container.
Sugar Rush, man, that was depending on how thick you made it, it was liquid diabetes in the cup.
Yeah. Well, we used to get them little suckers and dip them in there like the fun dips, like the little pixie sticks.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to do it like that. Then drink you some cold water. Shoot, that was your meal for the day. For us,
So tell me, what was like? Can you tell me of a good memory that you might have growing up in Cabrini Green?
good memory. Yeah, yeah, I got a good memory. When we felt like when we living in there, when we saw that they was bringing the movie Candyman to Cabrini, and we felt like we was the most talked about project community. That was the only time we got attention when they brought Candyman there, and then it was they was giving everybody job opportunities. They was giving everybody job opportunities. So if you were down there and you were like a runner, they'll have you run. They'll pay you. It was like $200 a day. To back then in the early '90s, late '80s, early '90s, that wasn't
That was
bad.
pretty good. That was pretty
You know,
good. Yeah.
yeah, $200 a day, man. Shoot, a lot of people were saving their money and using it to move up out of Cabrini because we was all on government assistance back then, man. We wasn't ashamed of it. Shit, rent was $20 a month.
$20 a month?
Yeah, in
Wow.
Cabrini, man. Yep, yep. Rent. If you was on public housing and you was getting public assistance, then yeah, your rent was like $20 a month.
So what was the worst or a bad traumatic experience that you would say that you had in growing up?
Seeing my friends, man, shootings in the hallways, uh, shootings in the hallways, man. People getting beat up, and people not walking in the building, and they not knowing what they walking into, going in there to visit people, man. And getting seriously hurt because they was going there to see somebody.
Well, that sounds wow. That's crazy. That's just unbelievable. Just asking those questions because I want my fans to be able to get to know you the way that I know.
Yeah,
You
man.
know, a lot of people
It was
don't
bad.
know.
I mean, yeah, I did the little gangbang thing. I ain't had no choice because you growing up in there, you ain't had no choice, man. It was either you gonna do or you don't. And sitting in there, seeing what I saw, man, it was like it was fun. We had fun times, but then you had times where you felt like you was in hell, man, because you hear shootings in the hallways, you hear shootings downstairs, you hear shootings coming across the buildings. Chicago is notorious for shootings. You know what I mean? I mean, I hate to say it, but that was the lifestyle that everybody wanted. Everybody wanted that bragging rights of which building they gonna shoot at. You know what I mean?
Do you see a change between when you was growing up versus now? When was the last time you've been to Chicago?
Let me see. Last time I was in Chicago was 2020. No, 2019. 2019. I had a show out there and we went around and just got to see. They tore them down. Cabrini Green is no more. All the projects, Stateway, Robert Taylor's, they all gone. They long gone now. Mayor Daley, he was the mayor back then, so he was already trying to vamp out the projects anyway. And now, as you see, Chicago violence has spread it throughout the city because they tore down all the projects. So if you look at Chicago violence as the numbers then and now, it's completely different, man. They don't spread it everybody out to the west side, to the south side, to the north side. Not so much north side, but mostly west side and south side.
And so when the last time you was there, minus the change as far as like the violence, so it's not like the violence necessarily changed, it's just now more spread out.
Right. And that was my way out, man. That's how I started comedy. That's how I started in comedy, man.
We're going to touch on that.
Some.
We definitely going to touch on that. As a matter of fact, we do got to take one real quick commercial break, and they'll be right back, folks. We got the real comedian T-Rel in the building. Make sure you stay locked in, stay tuned. We about to get real deep real quick. We'll see you real soon.
Absolutely.
Hey, you. Me? Yes, you. Are you ready to take your brand to the next level? Hell yeah. GLM Designs can help you with just that. Word? From laptop skins? You lying. Promotional flyers. Yo, son. Promo videos. I need that. OBS Twitch overlays and backgrounds. Hey, yo, let me get that. Professional one-sheets and so much more. Oh my God. Please visit our website, I'm on it right now. GottaLoveMeWorld.com today to check out our designs. Got it. Follow us on social media at Gotta Love Me World. Follow it. GLM Designs are here to take care of all your graphic needs.
The Fleet DJ Music Conference, July 14th to the 18th. Going down in Jacksonville, Florida. Come and network with the DJs, producers, photographers, industry tastemakers, and also party listening events and more. The Fleet DJ Music Conference is your event. And making a career move here in the entertainment industry. For more info, call 404-465-1546. 404-465-1546. Or for email, hit info@fleetdjs.com. That's info@fleetdjs.com. Check out www.fleetdjs.com for tickets. We are here for you.
Fleet DJ.
Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. Got comedian T-Rel in the building. Discussions with Jay, having a very, very good conversation just in regards to how my man was growing up on the west side of Chicago, Cabrini Green projects, which he says is no longer there, correct?
Right. Yeah, they tore them down, man. Mayor Daley didn't want them up. I mean, it was a lot of projects. Ida B. Wells, Stateway, Robert Taylor's, all them places are gone now, man. And, they done took people out of their comfort zone and put them in different neighborhoods. So now that's why there's so much going on with, and then now you got the rap game, and now so it's man, growing up there, man. You had, like I said, you gotta have thick skin. if you don't have thick skin, man, then it's all you're gonna be because they hunt, man. The evil hunt, and when the evil hunt, you just better be prepared and ready. You just don't know what's gonna happen, as opposed to knowing, like, especially if you're living in that neighborhood, So, you just got to be careful on anywhere you go. But living in Chicago, man, you got to be extremely careful anywhere you go.
Wow. Now, you were right before we took to a commercial break. You were explaining how you found your funny in regards to growing up in Chicago. Explain that to me.
Yeah, man, I was a class clown, man. Even though we was living in the projects, I still went to school. I had to go to school. I still wanted an education. So I used to get complaints from my teacher. Teacher used to say disruptive in class on my report card. Remember back in the day, you used to get when you look at your report card, it'll say
the actual report
A,
card,
B, C.
they put the comments in there. Yeah.
Yeah, the comments. Mine's always said disruptive in class. I used to, because my teacher, every time she came in, if she had on some ugly shoes or she had on like this outfit that was funny looking, I was the one that would always talk about it.
What would she say?
She'd be like, Mr. Terrell, this is not Comedy Central. She used to say this. And, I used to call her, because she had all these wrinkles, and I used to call her prune face. Then I called her crust. But I called her crust because she had on these sandals. And when she wore the sandals, man, she had enough crust on the back of her feet to make a pie with. So,
wow.
Yeah, man. So every time she walked in, I would sound like Pillsbury. So I'd be like, nothing says something like Pillsbury in the oven. So I'd do that. And the class would go crazy and laugh at it. And so every time, and then she'll walk past and I'd be like, I'd cover my mouth and I used to be like, crust. I used to call her crust. I was a kid. So I was always getting in trouble like that. And it didn't stop there. In the projects or even in my neighborhood, we will always roast each other. We'll roast each other. So I would talk about, if guys would come up and talk about me being short, about my height, and I'll roast them about being big. I would roast them. If their head was too big, I'll talk about their head being big. If their clothes was dirty, if they stink, I would talk about them. And so it got into like a roasting session to where we had contests every Friday. And we'll all meet up like a rap battle, but it was just in comedy. And so we would roast each other. And with the person with the most roast, get to go up against the next person the following week. Then it went from that to winning money and, and all that. And one of my friends, man, my boy Mario, man, and Keith and Kenny, best friends of mine, they told me, they said, hey, T, you should try to do something with this and going into stand-up. And I didn't know how to go about doing all that stuff, man. I was like, man, I watch it on TV, but I don't know how to do all that. So I started, going to different comedy clubs, and I was too young to get in back then, by the way. But big shout out to, my boy Aaron for getting me up in there. But yeah, I used to go in there and watch the comedy shows at 16 years old, 16 and 17. And I would hear them.
When did you start performing?
18.
Okay.
18 years old, because you had to be 18. So still couldn't legally drink, but I can go in there at 18 and tell some jokes. And I had wrote my first bit, man. I wrote it on this notebook pad. And I started writing these little jokes or whatnot. And I went to this place called, oh my God, it was Kaboom back then. Back in the 90s, it was like a concert venue called Kaboom. And they had auditions for comics and stuff. They were looking for any type of comedian or any type of artist. And thank God that they was looking for comedians at the time. And so they said that they wanted to showcase me at this comedy club called Riddles. And that's in Illinois. So once you get past that first round, at that time, it was 5 minutes of jokes. Back in the late 90s, it was 5 minutes of jokes. You tell your best 5 minutes, then you go on to the next round, which will give you 10 minutes. And that's how that took off. And then my video highlight tape got into the right hands. And then it was on from there.
Nice. So 16, you started watching and going into the comedy clubs. 18, you started actually performing in the comedy clubs, right? So
Absolutely.
when did you start discovering that, okay, I might have a niche for this? Like I'm starting to fall in love with this. At what time and what age and what happened? Was there like a big break opportunity that happened for you to make you say, hey, this might be it for me?
At 21 or going on 22, it was 22. Yeah, I was 22 years old. And I was taking it serious, but not as serious as I was supposed to. You know what I mean? Yeah, and one man told me, this guy that I met years ago, his name was Dre Thompson. He used to always tell me, man, he said, one day you're not gonna take it serious, man. These people not gonna be bothered with you. He said, you funny as heck. He said, but the problem is you're not taking it there. It's you're not the one that's taking it to that next level. So when my tape got into the right hands, I was gonna showcase at Comedy Central for a late night comedy thing. And they had, we didn't have emails and all that back then. It was either show up or answer your pager. So, because I was 21. Yeah, we had the two-way, and they sent me a two-way message, and I never did respond to it. So, so I had missed out on the opportunity with Comedy Central. But that following year, I went back strong, full force, man, and said, you know what? I'm going to take this serious. At 22, Comedy Central gave me a deal, and I went on that late night comedy show. Byron Allen back then was, getting people on back then because he had the Byron Allen show and all that back then. So, he'll slip you through the cracks, but it's up to you to finish the rest. So, thank God for him, and I really appreciate him for, mentoring me and getting me to take it serious.
So how was it working with Byron Allen?
Well, Byron was strict. Byron Allen was strict. He didn't play no games. If you going on there and you lollygagging and messing around, he didn't have time for you. He's the one that'd be like, now I got you in there. It's up to you to get it right. If you can't get it right, then it's on you. Don't come back to me later on telling me why you missed out on the opportunity, why you missed out on your chance. Because he's nice. He's a great guy, but he nips it in the bud right there. He's like, look, buckle down, get on that stage, do what you got to do and do it right. And be funny and be yourself. That's what he would always tell me. He was a good mentor, man.
So would you say that Comedy Central was that big break for you, or when did you get into your career stance where you was like, okay, I'm actually doing this. This is actually really happening?
I didn't feel it until I didn't feel it till 2004, 05, like the Comic View days. When I went on Comic View, that's when I felt it. That's when I went on the BET Comic View day. That's when I felt it, man. I felt it then because I don't know, it was a different feeling. Comedy Central was great. Don't get me wrong, it was great. But when I went on that BET Comic View, man, that was when I took it serious from there on out.
So I also you kind of worked with some people, Brumman from the Fifth Flow off of Martin, Shorty from Wild and Out, and a couple of other people you worked with. How did you come into networking and meeting those guys?
Yeah, Shorty, that's my boy. Shawty, Brudman, man. Brudman is a really good guy. Reginald Ballard. Big shout out to Reginald Ballard, man. Reggie, I love you. I know you're going to see the video, so I love you, brother. Big shout out to Shawty. I met them, man, through Black Diamond Entertainment, man. Gary Ross. Big shout out to Gary Ross out in Phoenix, man. That's my boy. He saw me, like, when I came to Phoenix, what happened was I had a wave of comedy shows. And everybody said, this guy with this new sound, he's from Chicago, and he done did this, he done did that. It was people that was walking up to me, that new local comics out in Arizona was like, man, dude, I don't know how you selling out all these shows. I know you remember them days when I was coming in packing out them shows, man.
Absolutely. We was there.
Yeah.
We was there together. Yeah. Good.
Yeah. So Gary Ross from Black Diamond Entertainment hit me up. He'd say, man, I want to meet you somewhere. I want to talk to you. So he was like, man, I got this show with Faison Love and Brudman, and I want to have you on there, man, and as a feature. And Brudman called because he had gave Brudman my number, and Brudman had called, and he said, "Yo, T-Rel, I heard you doing the show with us." And I said, "Yeah," and he was glad to have us because he had heard of me, but I hadn't met him. I didn't meet him until I got down there to the venue, and once we met and we talked, man, he was like a big brother to me, telling me to stay doing what I'm doing. I was funny and just keep doing what I'm doing. Don't stop. You know, he was the one that him Faison Love did too. Big shout out to Faison Love. That's one of the OGs. But more so, Brudman, man, he was like right there with me, man, the whole time. And Black Diamond Entertainment, Gary Ross, Kiera Ross at the time, their name was Kiera Ross. They were big influences to getting us on those shows back then, man, and getting us the notoriety that we deserve for working hard.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Now let's just backtrack a little bit. When did you're no longer in Chicago? Is that correct?
Absolutely not. No.
When did you get up out of there?
Oh man, I left Chicago. I want to say I left Chicago in 2005, 05, around 05, 06.
What made you move? Just had enough of it, or just like I need something different?
Well, you know, I had a big buzz going on in Chicago back then, and you don't, because you got Chicago, man. They support you, but you don't want to stay in that element, man. You want to get out, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you have the tools and the finances to get up out of the neighborhood, get out the hood, then get out the hood. You know what I'm saying? Why stay there when, and then you're going to try to embarrass people because you doing good and they not, you know what I mean? So you want to get out of there and still, give back to the community. So I would always go back and still help out the community and stuff, go to the YMCAs and help out kids. But I wanted to move out of there because I wanted a better way of living, man, than what we had.
Absolutely. And right when we come back from this next commercial break, what we're going to talk about is the upcoming shows that you got going, because after what the pandemic did to you, if you were affected by the pandemic, what you got going on right now, and where people can be able to catch you at. So just everybody stay tuned. Comedian T-Rel, he ain't going nowhere. I suggest you don't go anywhere either. We'll be right back.
Who's ready for some fun? Who enjoys a podcast where the host speaks about what's on their minds and doesn't hold back? PD&J, What's Good Today, is an open format podcast hosted by Pocket and J-Dub the King. Let's talk about sports. Let's talk about music. Let's just have an interesting conversation. If you have any topics for us to discuss, email pdnjmediaproductionsllc@gmail.com. Tune in to PD&J What's Good Today every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Facebook and YouTube Live at J-Dub the King. Are you a business owner or someone looking for more ways and avenues to advertise and promote? Look no further. Contact us today for an advertisement. Email pdnjmediaproductionsllc@gmail.com for more info. Promotions are everything. What are you waiting for?
Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. Another episode, Discussions with Jay. I'm your host, Jay. I got the one, the only comedian T-Rel in the building. How you doing? Salute to you, sir.
I'm back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, I know we're still trying to come off this pandemic phase, or however they want to call it. How did that affect you? Was you affected by it? For one, were you staying healthy? For two, like, how was that for you?
Oh man, that's a good question. Okay, so it did affect me because my tour was cut short last year. I had shows scheduled for the Tempe Improv that got canceled. I had shows in Florida, Kentucky, Louisville. Man, it was just like a domino effect. Every week I get a call from my manager. Man, this show was canceled. This show was canceled. This show was canceled. COVID, man, COVID really messed up a lot, man. Yes, it did. If people tell you that it didn't mess people up financially, them the people who put money away years ago that had money to live off of, You know, so they lying if they tell you, "Oh, I was great. I was able to survive." Bullshit. Bullshit. They ain't no way in hell. That's our way of eating, man. That's how we get paid. We get paid by getting on these stages, man.
Exactly.
Unless you got Eddie Murphy money, then you know, if you got Eddie Murphy money, you can sit on the couch all day long. You know, but it
Speaking of Eddie
affected me
Murphy,
real bad, man, because you know, every time I turn on the TV, that was the whole topic was COVID. Hospitals full. I had a show scheduled in New York City, 3 shows in New York canceled. They was like, we don't want to risk you catching it because we don't know how it's going to affect you and all that. And I ended up catching it anyway.
oh man, how was that? Because I
caught
know
it
it
last.
affects people differently.
I caught it last month. And I'm vaccinated, fully vaccinated. That's the good thing about having that vaccine, because a lot of people talk about the vaccine is not good. Man, I heard this one lady tell me, well, I listened to what this lady, I'm a conspiracy theorist, and this lady told me on YouTube that the vaccine is not good. And if you put quarters to your arm, they're going to stick on you like magnets. That lady gonna kill me for saying that, but she did tell me that, and I'm like, well, I'm fully vaccinated, and I took quarters and put them to my arms. They fell, and I'm like, see, and I'm fine. But the vaccine does help because I caught it, and it's not fun. It's not fun, man. I tell you, it's not fun. It's not fun. It's you know, people joke about it, and people don't know the severity of it until you get it.
What
You
was
get
some of the
lightheaded.
symptoms of what you had?
Yeah, man. I felt lightheaded. I know I woke up. I felt lightheaded. I felt like my brain was separating from the body. I had the sweats, the chills, sore throat, dry cough, and as the days go on, you get better, but then you get worse, and then you feel it going into the back of your lungs where you getting breathing problems. But luckily, the vaccine is there to help that. The vaccine recognized it, caught it, kicked it back out. So it basically felt like I had like a strain of pneumonia because it was setting in there. That pneumonia was setting in there, and it made me feel like it was messing with my lungs where I couldn't breathe. But that vaccine helped and kicked it back out. I was good within about 2 weeks.
Okay. Now, you did mention Eddie Murphy, so let's just backtrack a little bit. As growing up, were your inspirations in comedy? Did you have any inspirations that you were looking after, or who inspired you per se?
Well, I'm gonna start off by saying the late great Robin Harris from Chicago. If you remember the movie House Party,
Yes,
he
sir.
played Kid's father. Met him when I was a teenager. I met him at that comedy club when I was a teenager.
Okay.
And he was getting ready to go and do Bebe's Kids. And of course, you know, he passed away, and you know, Faison Love took that over, you know. But he was one of my inspirations. Bernie Mac, Richard Pryor. My dad wouldn't let me watch Richard Pryor because he kept saying he cursed too much. Eddie Murphy, the great Eddie Murphy, of course. Let me see. A lot of those guys, like Deion Cole, a lot of them guys, man. D-Ray Davis, big shout out to D-Ray. All them guys, man. Big shout out to all them guys. They was my big Red Fox. Red Fox was one of my, you know, inspirations, man. I loved all them guys. I love watching they stand up. And I wanted to take what they knew, tweak it, and make it funny like they did, you know?
Now, out of all of them, did you get a chance to see them perform live? Like you mentioned, you saw Robin Harris before, the late great Robin Harris. What about like Bernie Mac or D-Ray Davis or Deion Cole? Have you had a chance to see them perform live?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I got a chance to see Bernie Mac once at the Laugh Factory in California. I got him to see perform there when he was doing that movie Guess Who back then. He was still doing comedy shows here and there. He had just came off the Kings of Comedy tour at that time, and he was still doing shows here and there. You know, he said he always wanted to stay fresh. So, you know, in the comedy game, you want to step in them little smaller comedy clubs just to, you know,
try new material out, see
right.
how that works. Yeah.
Right. So I got to see him live at the Laugh Factory out in California. I got to see Deion Cole in Chicago. I was passing through because I had a show in Waukegan, Illinois, and I stayed for his show and then went to go do my show in Waukegan. Him and I always try to catch D-Ray in California, but I never did get a chance to catch him because he would perform in Chicago and he'd be gone. So I never did get a chance to catch him. But Eddie Murphy, I was too small for Eddie Murphy, man. I didn't even get it. I watched him on a VHS tape on Raw and Delirious.
Now, we talked off screen in regards to you did some things where T.I.'s doing comedy, right? You told me some things in regards to that. I just want to piggyback off of that. What's going on with T.I. and the comedy?
Okay, with T.I., man, T.I. has, first of all, he's a superstar, man. He's very well respected in the hip hop industry, and he's respected in the comedy industry too. It's just a lot of people they're not grasping it. Like, man, T.I. is doing stand up. Why is he doing stand up? Because he can. We should be able to be free to do whatever we want to do in this country, especially if you want to do stand up. But a lot of people, they hating on that because, he's good with the mic rapping, but he's good at comedy too. They just need to take time to look at it.
Why do you think people are hating on him for trying to step into that comedy role?
Because he's already stepped into it as a superstar. See, T.I. is already known to do big things. He's selling out arenas just off hip hop. So of course, if you got a comedian who's been in the game, 20 something years, you know what I'm saying? They've been in the game and they ain't got nowhere yet. But you got T.I. coming in and he shutting down your own comedy show. He come in and shutting down your comedy show like, Tip is here in the building and they looking like, oh man, come on over here, Tip, do your thing. Well, who's the other guy performing? We don't know. We forgot. But T.I. here, come on.
But I heard T.I. on the show. Funny, though.
Yeah, T.I. is funny, man. He's telling his life story. I think he's pretty funny. I mean, a lot of people got their differences. He not funny. He just trying to make fun of comedian. He ain't making fun of nobody. The man telling his life story, and he's making the shit funny as hell. Like, to me, he making it funny. And a lot of people don't like that. So, I love it because I'm going to hit him up and be like, hey, man, I've got a show coming up in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Come on out and see. Come on out, man. Shoot, I have him come on the show. I would love to have him on there. But a lot of people don't like the fact that what he's doing because he's a hip hop artist transitioning to stand up, and you got comedians who.
But that's the part that doesn't make sense to me. He's already extended his olive branch to where he was a musician, then went into acting and started. I mean, so he was already doing other stuff. What's wrong with him doing comedy?
There's nothing wrong with him doing comedy. A lot of them just don't understand that he's that superstardom. He's that superstardom celebrity that he can go in there and do that because a lot of people know he's a class A celebrity. So of course they gonna let him work his comedy chops out on the stage, just see how it is. Because hell, a lot of people might find it funny, and people are afraid of that.
That's a lot that you just said right there. Now, what advice would you give for any aspiring comedians that are looking to either hop in the game or who's been doing it for a while, but just feeling like they're just hitting a brick wall? Like, what advice do you have for them?
Be patient. Be very, very, very patient, man. Everything is going to come together. Everything's going to come. The money's going to come. Don't be worried about them. That's what the problem is with these guys that's getting into comedy. They worried about when I'm gonna get paid, and that's great. But you got to build a brand. You got to build something to sell. If you don't have nothing to sell, they're not gonna want it. So the money's gonna come. Never give up. Work hard. Stay firm on you doing your shows. Don't never let nobody tell you what you can't do because you can. And take it from me because when I started, I was standing in a little storage shed. It's a little storage shed, man. I didn't have nowhere to stay. I didn't have no rent to pay, nothing like that, man. And I was out there on the streets, really. before I got known, I was out there and staying on the streets, man. A lot of people say, man, you could have came and stayed at my house. Yeah, but no, I didn't give up hope. I didn't give up faith, man. I kept going, just kept going, kept going.
Now
And
you said that you stayed on the streets. What was that like, and for how long of a period was you in that place? Because the reason why I'm asking you that, because I'm sure that played some kind of, it played a factor into your mental state stability and just your well-being and everything. I'm sure it did, right? How
yeah,
long were you in that mental space?
it messed with you mentally, man, because you don't know where your next meal is coming from. You you don't know if you should be doing it. You get to the point where you want to, it hits me here because I remember those days, man. You know, wanting to wash people's cars for cash. It's a lot mentally. It does mess with you mentally because you don't know where your next money is coming from to feed yourself or to take care of yourself. I remember days, you know, showering in McDonald's and Burger King because didn't have the money, you know. So, you know, and days you like that, you want to give up and say, man, forget this. I'm gonna get me a full-time job. You know, I could have easily got a full-time job and worked and did both, but you got to remember two things. Something's gonna go lacking. You working your 9 to 5 to feed yourself, and then you miss out on your comedy shows, or you just keep grinding it out. Keep grinding it out until you feel like there's a time that it's gonna come. You know, so you know, to living out on the streets, man. I was living like in a little public storage. I had rented like a little public storage, and the lady was like, "Don't even pay me nothing else. You just stay here, keep an eye on things." So I keep an eye on things at night, and then during the day, and then at night I go do my comedy shows. Man, nobody ever knew that. Nobody never knew that story.
Wow, that's
Public
deep.
storage, man, and it was big shout out to Stacy at Public Storage, man. She really helped me out back then, man, and nobody knew. Nobody knew. I would play it off. I smiled, and everybody facing a lot of people never knew that I was living out on the streets, man.
That's deep.
So,
That's real deep. Well, that's just a proven testament to willpower and, you know, staying driven and staying focused and staying firm on what you believe in. So definitely salute to you in regards to that and getting to where you're at right now. Where can everybody catch you at? Do you got any shows coming up? You're on tour right now. What's going on?
yes. Thank God that we are on tour now. Finally, we are on tour. COVID is people getting their vaccinations because I see it's a lot of people that's coming out now. Just so you know, Jay, I just gotta say this, man. People went in quarantine at 120, they coming out at 230 pounds. I just want you to know they went in. I got a few friends that them went in and they was like $120 at quarantine. Now they like 250, 260. A lot of heavy sets that's gonna be at the show. It's gonna be a lot of food ordered at these shows now. So it's gonna be some big motherfuckers at the show, man. But I ain't worried about that. Big people need love too. We just know you ain't skinny no more. Hell, it happened to me. I'm one of them. Jay, look at me, man. I was like 120 when you met me, man. My scale said 202. Yeah, man, I'm one of them. So hey, I ain't worried about the beer gut. Oh, y'all, well, they can't see it, but I got a little beer gut. I ain't worried about it. I ate a lot. That means I was eating good. I'm just catching up on food I missed back then because remember I was homeless. I had no money. Just catching up. Just catching up on what I missed 15 years ago, you know. But
you're getting to where you're naturally supposed to be.
Right. Yeah. And I'm comfortable, man. I eat what they call comfort foods.
Okay.
Our soul food, mac and cheese, cornbread, biscuits and gravy, chicken, baked chicken with gravy, the chicken fried steak. Man, I'm eating all that now. Hey, I ain't have it back then. You know, I was eating circus peanuts, potato chips, candy, courtesy cups of water. I'd be lucky if I got a McDouble here and there. Hell, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just catching up. But no, I was gonna tell you, March 12th, I'm at the Crown Plaza Hotel, 4300 East Washington in Phoenix, Arizona. That's March 12th. It's called the Phoenix Jam event. I'll be hosting that event March 12th in Phoenix. So them tickets, I believe the tickets are $25. Yep, $25. And they got a $110 weekend package. But I'll be sharing those flyers along with the people that's promoting it. It's gonna be pretty cool, man.
And they can definitely just say that one more time for my people, so that way they can hear it, just in case they didn't hear it in the back.
Yeah, the Crown Plaza Phoenix Resort. I'm sorry, the Crown Plaza Phoenix. Crown Plaza Phoenix. It says Crown Plaza Phoenix Airport. So that's the Crown Plaza. It's the hotel, pretty much the Crown Plaza Hotel.
That's
4300 East.
Airport.
Yep, 4300 East Washington Street, Phoenix, Arizona, 85034. Come on down, because it ain't just me performing. They have a lot of stuff, man. They got some stuff going on, man. They asked me to host the event, so it's like it's just a whole bunch of stuff. They from Chicago too.
Okay, so Chicago gonna be in the building.
Of course.
That's March 12th, right?
March 12th, and then they have another one. They have another one on April 12th as well. I believe, yeah, April. They have one in March and they have one in April. Yeah, it's going down. They got a 3-day event next for April. It's gonna be pretty cool, man.
All right, and then anybody that wants to follow you, they can follow you at the handle of comedian T-Rel. Is that correct?
Yes, comedian T -, like the -REL. That's the way you spell it on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat. It's all the same. Comedian T -REL.
And for booking information, they can email you directly, comediantrel@gmail.com, right?
Right. That'll go straight to my manager. Yeah.
Okay, and we have that scrolling at the bottom of our page there. T-Rel, man, brother, I want to thank you for being on this platform today and just letting people know about your story, where you coming from, where you're at now, and everything that you got going on. I salute you, brother. I salute you, King.
Thank you, man. Oh, also, I'm on tour, so I got shows coming up in Vegas, California, Louisville, Kentucky, Miami, Florida, Orlando, Palm Beach. What else we got? I got Philadelphia too coming up. Finally, I'm in Philadelphia. It's been years. I haven't performed in Philadelphia since 2013. Took them a long time to get me back, and we had it sold out there.
Sounds like you looking forward to that show.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to Phoenix. I'm looking forward to Philly. I'm looking forward to all of it, man. I ain't gonna say we out of the woods on this COVID, because I don't want to jinx myself and get it again. Because then they're going to shut everything down again, man. And I'll be like, hey, man, look at all the stuff I could have did. I'm going to be one of them I could have dudes. I could have been. I should have. No, but, and they do have COVID restrictions. They do have people, separating 6 feet away from each other. And I think that certain states are still requiring a mask. If they are, hey, wear it if you're not vaccinated. If you are vaccinated, still wear it, because you just don't know. I'm vaccinated, and I ended up getting it. So when y'all come to the shows, please follow COVID protocol, because they're not going to let you in.
There, you heard it there first, man. Comedian T-Rel, man, it's been a pleasure having you in the building. Salute to you, and make sure everybody that's in the Phoenix area, you catch him March 12th at the Crown Plaza Phoenix Airport. And that's
there you go.
4300 East Washington, and that's March 12th.
That's right. Don't beat me there. Get there. Get them tickets, y'all, because we out of COVID, baby. Get them.
There we go. Well, folks, it's been another great episode of Discussions with Jay. Make sure you tune in each and every Friday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. That's 8 o'clock on the East Coast. Also, catch us every Wednesday, PD&J, What's Good Today, with me, your host, Jay, and my counterpart, Pocky. So, salute. To the next time.
Jay. Hey, thank you for having me, bro. Really, man. I love you. From the heart, man. Anything you need, man. I got you 1,000,000%.
Man, it's all love, man. All love. I appreciate and I salute you, man.
You got it.
Folks, we'll catch you next week.